everybody, Kathryn here with another MyCom tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to export videos for the web. When exporting videos for the web, the trick is to reduce the file size without compromising the quality. In this tutorial, I'll walk through the export panel in Adobe Premiere Pro for general reference, but the exact export settings and workflow may vary on other editors. So here's how to export videos for the web. We're done editing and we're ready to export. In the latest versions of Premiere, the Export tab is now at the top of your window. So all we do is click on that and we're ready to go. Right here in the middle are the export settings that we are going to configure. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in at the very top. First one is file name. Use a file naming convention that you're most comfortable with. I usually use the date, then my project name, then final or VO1 for the version, and then the type of export, a high quality web export. The file extension, it will update automatically, so we're just going to leave it as it is right now, even though that probably won't be the one that we end up with. Location, this is where your exported file will live. I suggest wherever your project folder is, create an O1 exports folder and put your export there. That way they're all easy to find all together when you're ready to upload. Okay, next we have preset. A lot of edit programs come with export presets for common video formats, including web video formats. So for web video, again, these presets might be called something different in the edit program you're using. For Adobe Premiere Pro, there's one called High Quality 1080p HD. You could also pick YouTube 1080p Full HD, that one would be okay too. If these don't show up on your preset window or drop-down menu, press the ... next to it and more presets, and it'll open up the preset manager that you can then add them to or select from there. So next is format, and H.264 is the one that this preset has chosen. Format, the word may be a little bit confusing because when you think format, you think MP4, MOV. That is part of the format, but the other part of it is the video codec, which is the software that handles the video compression. So H.264 is the industry standard for formats, especially for web videos, so we're gonna keep it right there. Okay, so now we'll go into the video settings. Click this little drop-down caret menu to expand this section. And under the first thing, basic video settings, we see this button, match source. The match source button means your exported video will match those same dimensions from your video sequence. This is especially important when you're exporting vertical videos or square videos. For example, my video is a square video. A lot of the presets, their default aspect ratio is 1920 by 1080, which is a horizontal video. So as long as your video settings in your sequence are correct, click match source and it will automatically match that. So see 1080, 1080, 1080, 1080 in this output. Now before we leave this section, let's click the ... more button, because there are a couple other boxes we want to check down here. Render at maximum depth, yes, and use maximum render quality. There's little blurbs about each of these that pop up. They're pretty self-explanatory, but just make sure they're checked. These are usually not checked in a preset, so this is also another reason why it might be a good idea to save your settings as a custom preset at the end, but more on that later. So the last thing before we leave the video section is at the very bottom of this, and it is the bitrate settings, bitrate encoding. This is another setting that is involved in compression. So the higher the bitrate, the higher the quality, and also the bigger the file size. VBR stands for variable bitrate, and CBR stands for constant bitrate. The number of passes means how many times the encoder will analyze your video, and whether it will do it once or whether it will go through it twice. There are a lot of philosophies on what the best setting to choose for this is, so I encourage you to experiment for yourself. Personally, I recommend VBR 1 pass. Using 2 pass is important when you have a very strict limit on the file size, like if you're trying to fit a file on a CD. YouTube does its own encoding with a VBR when you upload it. So any quality that you would have gained from that second pass would be lost during YouTube's encoding. Next up is audio. For the most part, audio is a lot simpler, and the default settings are probably what you're going to stick to, but we'll just go over them just in case. Audio format, audio codec. Again, this is the software that handles the compression, and the industry standard for audio codecs is AAC, so we want to keep both of those at AAC. Sample rate is at 48,000 Hertz. Yes, we want to keep that there. And then again, bitrate settings. 320 is great. I would not go any lower than that. Well, I would not go any lower than 128. 320, stick to that, you'll be fine. So before we export though, let's save this as a preset. So up here, you'll see that our preset has changed to custom because of those tweaks that we've made to the high quality 1080p preset that we had chosen at the beginning. So right here to the right of it, we'll click the ellipses button and we'll hit Save Preset. Again, name this something that you know you'll remember. Maybe like very important preset 1:1, so I know it's a square web. Okay. Done. Now next time, all of that will already update for me once I choose that preset, and I'll be good to go in a flash. All right, so all we have left to do is export. Click the button, export. And we're done. And that's how to export videos for the web.